I was left for dead. That's how my journey in entrepreneurship started. I left the corporate world and my finance and MBA degrees behind me to share my story. Welcome to That Entrepreneur Show, where resilience meets hustle. Let's build and learn from our guest now. What's one more piece of advice you can offer to any early stage founder right now?
When you're just starting, you have a little traction, but a huge vision. So at that point, your most valuable asset is your passion. If your passion will be strong, people will want to join you. An investor will want to invest in you, and you will be able to lead very talented people. So you need to find a problem that is very important to you on the personal level.
I am excited. We have another live stream today. We are here streaming in with not just a two-time author, an incredibly successful entrepreneur that I am ready to share his story, the world's first tech-driven book publishing platform. Thank you so much for joining us here on That Entrepreneur Show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
I'm excited to have you as well. Everyone, thank you for continuing to tune in each week to help keep this show a top 2.5% global show. We've got another incredible entrepreneur out here today, out in Israel. 2 books in Hebrew, so that's your thing. Stick around to the end of the show. We're going to get you to place to find those as well. He thought today's show would be best on That Entrepreneur Show and not writing with authors, and he's certainly not wrong. If it's your first time with us, buckle up. This show interviews founders of companies from all around the world to help you on this entrepreneurial journey. There's no textbook, there's no blueprint in entrepreneurship, but sharing each other's stories helps us get to where we need to go. Let's talk about why you launched this business, but even before that, why did you want to become an entrepreneur? I do my shows in segments before, right now, and at the end. Walk us through the early stages.
Amazing. Thank you. So everything started about 13 years ago. I was halfway through my master's degree at electronics engineering. I was in a very different path than I am right now. And I published a book. So once I did that, I realized that the publishing process is kind of broken. I realized there is an opportunity there if I could create a different publishing process. So I bootstrapped my own publishing company. I was very lazy about the name. I named it Niv Publishing after my last name. And it started in my dorm room as I was a student, but it grew to become the largest publishing house in Israel with over 400 team members, more than 1,200 titles published annually.
Amazing.
Friends, the next competition in Israel can publish about 300 titles a year, so you are 4 times larger and quicker than them. And about 5 years ago, I finished structuring the management team at Niv Publishing. Finally, I got my life back, building a business.
Get it? Yeah.
That's very intense. So I had a chance to rest a little bit and I started to do some M&As. I acquired 4 different publishers, integrated them into what has become Niv Group. And then I started to do some angel investing. And while I'm doing that, I met all of those tech founders and I came across this amazing emerging technology back in the day. 4 years ago, it was 2 years before ChatGPT released. And I realized that, okay, the AI is coming. The AI revolution I kind of foresaw it. And I realized it will disrupt everything. And I better do something about it because either I will lead this opportunity in the publishing space or I could become irrelevant by it in a few years.
Yeah.
So that's why I started another company named Spines. Started with my own capital. Soon I realized, capital will not be enough. So I started to fundraise. I started with angel investors. It was $1.3 million pre-seed round. By the way, if you'd like to dig into the fundraising journey, that's a whole new process I had to learn myself how to do. I ended up having 2 more rounds. I had a $6.5 million seed round led by Aleph. It's a top-tier early-stage Israeli VC. The founder of the fund is Michael Eisenberg. Then 3 months ago, we had a Series A, $16 million Series A led by Oren Zehav. He's one of the top tier investors in the Silicon Valley. And Spines, we have a very strong product market fit. We grew very fast. 2 years in a row, we grew more than 1,000% in revenues. Okay. So we are growing very fast, very exciting. Already 100 team members. Okay. So it happened fast. A lot of challenges. And what we do with Spines is we take a very different approach to publishing. Instead of being another publishing house, instead of being a self-publishing service, platform, that's a new concept. We allow authors to upload their manuscript to our platform. We take care of the proofreading, the formatting, the cover design. Everything is AI based. We can create an AI narrated audiobook based on their own voice. So instead of them going 40 hours into a studio, we only need 3 minutes of their own voice. The cover design is based on the content of the book and based on the categories of the book. The AI can take care of the metadata optimization of the book. We also list the book across 100 distribution channels worldwide in ebook, print, and audiobook versions, and 100 distribution channels, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Baker & Taylor, Bookman. We manage the royalties for the authors, and we also take care of the marketing of the book. So it's a 360 degrees solution, A to Z solution for authors. So that's Pines. That's what we are doing. That's how I came to run this company. Feel free to dig into whatever you like, because I can share about so many different stuff regarding the being a founder of a second company and all the challenges and all the things I had to learn the hard way.
Well, I look forward to learning more about this as an author myself. As a book nerd, you like to learn people who are in the same field, different things they do, how they did it, everything involved. What was the hardest part of growing this company? Now, you mentioned 1,000% revenue increase 2 years in a row. Very big congratulations to all your success there. But I want to highlight that it wasn't like you woke up one day and then you had 1,000%. You're not doing much. What were the pain points to help our audience right here, right now?
So I think my breakthrough was in one of my first meeting with Michael Eisenberg, the founder of Aleph. He told me that my pricing is all wrong. This is the first time I tried to create a SaaS company, a vertical SaaS company, because my previous company was a very different approach. And I couldn't see what he's talking about. But then we went through a pricing process with an expert. He's one of the best experts in how to price your SaaS product. And then we changed everything. As you have the product market fit, you also need to figure out the right pricing. Okay, because if you're an amazing product, but in the wrong pricing, it will be very, very hard to sell. So I think that the rapid changes we made with the pricing and until we met the right price stage we need to be in, that's what allows us to grow so fast. And also, so when you're just starting a business, okay, you first need to find a product market fit, because the last thing you'd like is to build the wrong product. Those are people who will invest a lot in creating a product. They will never try to sell it. And eventually they will have an amazing product that no one is willing to pay for. So what we end up doing is when we just started, we just wanted to prove the concept. If it will be even possible to publish a book with AI, okay? So we created very different approaches to solve this problem. And once we figure it out, first we start to offer it to authors, see how much they're willing to pay for that. Okay. So my approach is from day one, once you have something that you can offer to the end customers, start to see how much they're willing to pay for, start to play with the pricing, start to price it higher, price it lower, see how it goes, see how it affects your conversions. And then once you can prove that you can actually sell that, okay, now keep on investing in creating more features to the product, improving the product. And then comes the next problem, which is scaling the company. Because if you have an amazing product and you as a founder can sell it amazing, okay, that means that you accomplished the first task. But the second task is, will you be able, as a CEO, as a founder, to multiply yourself? Can you train the first sales rep? Can you prove that this product is something that a regular salesperson who is not a founder can actually sell that? And once you prove that, how much could you duplicate that? Okay, so can you build a 10 people sales team? Can you build a 100 people sales team? Okay, so that unlocks different stages to the business. And you need to make sure way before that, you need to make sure that the market is large enough. Because if you have an amazing product, an amazing scaling ability, but you are smaller than what should be, so you couldn't scale the company to a point that it eventually will be profitable. So a lot of different variables that, of course, when you're just starting your first company, you have no idea how to do that. But it's like a puzzle, you know? the real parts will appear at the right time, and eventually you will have an amazing picture. So this is how my journey unfolded.
Now, we talked about getting the sales team started. You talked about how you can scale it to 10 employees, 100 employees. What is some advice you can give to early stage founders training their first sales employee to make sure it actually is a successful relationship?
Okay, so the first sales rep in the company, don't look for a sales rep who had this crazy traction and he was like the top one in every team. Go to someone who wants to prove himself. Okay. So he should have attraction in being a sales rep, but not too much. Okay. Maybe 2 to 3 years, 4 years into sales. Okay. So he should understand what sales is all about. But if he's already worked in a very mature companies, he's used to a very systemized system, and startup at early stage is very different than that because the product will change a lot. The pitch will change a lot. You are building it while figuring out how to sell it. So you need to find the right guy for that specific task. And I think one of the first important thing you need to do is to explain to him, this is a not regular sales job. Okay. You are the first sales rep in a very early stage company. So there will be a ton of changes. Okay. And there are those people who cannot handle rapid changes. Like it breaks them eventually. So the first sales rep should be someone that is used to change, that maybe worked in a startup, in an early stage company before that. Okay. So that's a very important thing. But you have to keep in mind that we founders, we have a very complex mind. We can find our way through a lot of different situations. But most of people do not have that deep thinking. Like they never had to use that before. So don't expect to him to be like you. Okay. He'll probably start. So let's say if out of 10 calls, you can sell 3 deals, you probably eventually will be able out of 10 calls to close 1 customer. Okay. And that's okay for to start the wheels moving. Okay. Eventually it will be better, but he will never be like you. He will be about 70, 60% like you. But if he's only 70% better as you are, if you get 2 people, they're already 140%. So it's 40% more than you. Okay. So that's the magic of scaling. Okay. So because no one will be able to sell your product better than you at the beginning. Okay. But team of 3 or 4 people will probably sell it much, much better than you because they have more daily hours poured into that. So this is my tip of building the first. And I think what helped me is I took the best salesperson I had in Niv Publishing and I moved it into Spines. Okay. Now you're selling that. Okay. So for me, it was very easy transition because I already did that. And I got a very good sales rep who can sell publishing, been doing that for years. Now we're just selling to different kind of customers in different language, but still it's a very similar sale. Okay. So that's what helped me, but that's a privilege because I already founded a similar company in the same space before that. So by the way, of course, being a founder who grew in a certain industry, that's called a founder market fit. So if you have a strong founder market fit, like the founder understands the industry is operating in, you'll probably have a much easier time to build the first team members and the initial sales team to start moving the company.
I absolutely love that. I had to go back and catch you there because I knew the value you would bring to everyone listening on today. We learned everything. We learned why he became an entrepreneur. We learned all about what he's doing right now. So you know what time it is. If you could sit down with any entrepreneur, dead or alive, to pick their brain, who would you choose?
I think every founder nowadays will say the same. Like we all want to have a coffee with Elon Musk if we will be able to do that. And I don't have a clue how he's able to do so many different things, pioneering so many different industries, creating so much value in the world, and also doing a lot of different stuff who is irrelevant to the businesses is leading, just to understand how he's doing that. I'm a strong believer in having one focus in mind. So like I focus on one company. I believe like my focus is like focusing the light of the sun. You can actually burn stuff. I believe this is our focus. If we focus our mind on one thing, we can actually create tons of value in a very short amount of time. But how is creating so much value in so many different ventures and industries? I have no clue. So if I would ever had a chance, that's something that I might probably very happy to do.
Would you be meeting up there or here on Earth?
On Mars, probably. By the way, in one of my pitches, when I just started, I said, I'm trying to create the largest publishing house in Israel and even on the planet and even on Mars, who knows? So I had that kind of funny joke in my pitch.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that context to why you chose him. Of course, you do hear his name come up. I try to ask each guest. I took some time off a few years ago, but everybody gets asked now. Before I let you go, before I get your contact info, everything in between, what's one more piece of advice you can offer to any early stage founder right now?
When you're just starting, you have a little traction, but a huge vision. So at that point, your most valuable asset is your passion. If your passion will be strong, people will want to join you. An investor will want to invest in you, and you will be able to lead very talented people. So you need to find a problem that is very important to you on the personal level. So for me as an author and then as a publisher, it was very, very easy to figure out what will be my challenge. It's very important to me on the personal level. Like I had this vision of how will I ever be able to publish 1 million authors in my lifetime? And I realized, okay, I'm publishing the highest amount of books in Israel, and yet it's slow. It will never get me to 1 million authors. Right. And so for me, AI and growing into the American publishing industry, that's my leverage. But I had a very strong passion to create that value in the world. So if you can find your passion, if you can find the one thing that you can put all your effort in, the right things will fall in place. The right teacher will appear. Eventually, everything will work out because at the beginning, your passion is the highest asset. So
it's going to be hard, but if you're passionate about it, you'll stick with it. Thank you so much for stopping by That Entrepreneur Show. Where can we find you online?
So I'm on LinkedIn, Yehuda Niv on LinkedIn. And soon I will build my Instagram in English as well. Now I have an Instagram in Hebrew. So if you like, I have 37,000 followers in Hebrew. But soon I will create my Instagram in English. So I'll be there as well. And you could follow me there as well.
Appreciate you sharing that. Everyone, be sure to connect with him. He is a great person to have in your network. And this is That Entrepreneur Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Keep sticking with us and subscribe for next week's show. My name is Vincent A. Lancey, and you can find more about me at vincentalancey.com. And be sure to head to our show partners today, johnford.com, with his brand new empathy card set, his empathy app, and Coming Alive Podcast Production.com to start your podcast journey today. And with that, we're signing off today. America, Israel, thank you so much.
Thank you.